So we could maybe name this talk Uncommon Rituals.
We got an invitation to contribute to a book of uncommon rituals. So we're going to talk about that this morning, about the invitation and about ritual and common and uncommon.
And we're going to start by reading our invitation, exactly how we received it in email. Quote, I've been impressed by the way that the secular Buddhist network has fostered community among secular Dharma practitioners through your discussion and meditation groups, peer-led initiatives, and your commitment to human flourishing and open dialogue. I think we need to backtrack for a moment in case people aren't aware of what the secular Buddhist network is and why they would reference that. Linda, want to speak to that?
Right. Nelly and I are contributors to the Secular Buddhist Network, which is a compilation of many different practitioners, teachers, experiences of Buddhist practices that lean secular, that have a different take on some of the traditional teachings, and often explore them in comparison. One thing that's particular about the Secular Buddhist Network is it doesn't actually try to eliminate or alienate traditional teachings. It actually tries to bring them in and do some comparison, some discernment and overlaps, which we're really big on.
Right. So because of this, back to reading.
Oh, go ahead. Because of this, we got an invitation. Because we're a contributor and a part of that community, that Sangha also.
They're doing a book called The Book of Uncommon Rituals.
And I think this will be their third volume. So they do have two volumes
okay.
already out. And she continues, the woman that gave us the invitation, and basically says, again, back to the invitation, that there aren't many resources on rituals for spiritual or religious people working outside traditional institutions. And they want to change that. We're collecting rituals from practitioners all over the world, across many spiritual paths and no spiritual path, and compiling them into a volume called the Book of Uncommon Rituals. This will be a flexible, adaptable resource to help people deepen connection, strengthen communities, and cultivate meaning.
So we got the invitation and we thought, perhaps our ritual is the structure that we've been doing together with you all for various amounts of time, but many of you for a very long time. This process of meditating, journaling, reflecting, speaking about our meditation. Maybe we could call that a ritual.
Right, and we hadn't been calling that a ritual in our mind necessarily. We've looked at pieces of our practice as ritualistic, ringing a bell before meditation, an optional prayer hands at the end of a meditation, and basically just some small, simple steps that we've considered. We're very ritual light is really the direction we've always thought of ourselves.
Right, and some teachers might dedicate the merit of the practice in a very ritualistic kind of statement. Ritualistic meaning it's kind of using the same words. So rituals can have a lot of, that's a more common ritual in Buddhism, but this is uncommon rituals, this book.
Right. We fit a little better in the uncommon rituals. And so we titled our piece, Reflective Meditation, using reflection as a ritual.
And so then we went back, or Linda went back to a little research on what is ritual, and found this statement. A ritual in Buddhism is a prescribed or intentional set of actions, often symbolic, repetitive, and done with awareness, meant to cultivate mindfulness, express devotion, embody teachings, and support the path toward awakening. So I'd kind of like to have a little convo about that sentence, Linda. I'm not sure a ritual is really symbolic, but it certainly is repetitive and it's hopefully done with awareness. Would you agree with that?
I think the symbolic goes to something that's internal that I know that is part of a kind of less visible world that
Mm.
comes out in some form. And
Mm.
that form feels like a symbol of my intentions, of the meaning that I have for it, of whatever posture I'm using. So that's how I interpreted the symbol.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. And the part that I easily connect to is meant to cultivate mindfulness, or I prefer the word awareness, but same thing in this context. Um, embody the teachings. That is really what we're strong on, that our ritual embodies the
Right,
teaching of conditionality, really
right,
embodies it in the
right.
literal sense of the word, in our body too.
In our body and body mind. I mean, we're directly asking people what happened in the meditation and then asking them to put it in their own understanding of their inner conditions, outer conditions. And they're really telling us about their rituals. I mean, that
Mm.
this is the interesting thing is we're kind of, we're impacting each other with what we do ritualistically that has deep meaning for us.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't thought of it that way. I like that, Linda. Yeah, yeah, we are telling each other our rituals, and then we're getting to explore our rituals
Yeah.
in conversations, at least some of the time. How did that go?
Right.
What happened? How did your mood change when you did that? How did that ritual work out? Or not
Right.
work out, that's maybe not quite right, but progress or impact,
Yeah.
impact you. I
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
better.
Well, I think I like your language worked out because often rituals are prescribed. And we don't tend to prescribe many. I mean, but we
Right.
are prescribing reflection. So that's where it kind of came to, yes, we could call this a ritual. I think of, like the teachings, even the refuges that people would maybe chant, or precepts that the teachings people would chant. We don't ritualistically do that, but some people might, even though we don't do that as a
Right.
group. So we're really kind of getting to um, what we choose to do and how does it go? How does it work out for us? I thought
Right.
that's a good statement.
Okay, all right, good. So examples of, more common rituals that you would, if you go to another meditation group, probably likely encounter: bowing, chanting, offering incense, reciting precepts, meditation postures, daily reflections that are, whatever, this is the
Yeah,
reflection of the day.
yeah,
Um, It's funny. I was just meeting with I had tea with a mutual person that Linda and I was in the teaching Sangha with, and he said that is so allergic from having all the incense that he's become super sensitive. What's that word when you can sense really,
yeah.
if there's a word for what I'm looking for, because of the ritual of incense and decades of Buddhist practice with incense. That was an offhand statement. Anyway.
No, but it's a good statement. Again, I'm saying good, Nelly. Because I remember one time when I started eating a very Asian diet, I became allergic to all the things I ate ritualistically. And it's very easy to develop an allergy to something you do again and again and again and again and again.
Right,
So we're even though we are using reflection as a ritual, we're giving people choice of journaling after, not expecting people to do it after every meditation or mine every single meditation. It becomes a kind of a flexible, adaptable.
Right. And some
ritual.
people really don't like that ritual and they leave
Yeah,
reflect
yeah,
meditation. We understand that much better than
yeah,
we used to
yeah.
and support that.
Right, right,
Uh,
right.
Now, this sentence that also you found somewhere, I really love this last sentence. The key difference from ritual in other contexts is that in Buddhism, and that's Buddhism as a whole, they're generalizing, the intention, the wholesome motivation and awareness during the ritual are what make it spiritually meaningful.
Yeah,
So that's what matters. A
right,
wholesome motivation and awareness during this whole thing of reflection and
right,
meditation,
right.
reflected.
I think that describes really beautifully about our intention, a wholesome intention about reflection. Often people will feel like a pressure to remember everything from a sitting or to remember it exactly as it happened, that their memory of the reflection isn't 100% accurate. So we really have taken it up again, kind of in a simple, light direction, rather than trying to perform it perfectly.
And really our direction is to develop more meaning and connection to our experience, connection to one another, meaning that helps us move forward in our lives. So I think I'm the bell
Okay,
ringer. I think it's
you
my
got
turn.
it.
Okay, so
Yes,
I'll
it
do it.
is.